What I'm about to tell you is a game changer for everybody. Let's go. All right, so I'm always trying to find ways to help people, and I'm always looking and overturning and turning over things and just trying to figure things out. And so I was up one night and something popped in my head. Now, listen, I haven't actually done this, but my wife and we are actually going to start this next year, 2026. And I think I think it's a strategy that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, it's something that you can put into practice. So when I discovered this or when it came to my mind, I jotted it down. Like I woke up that night and okay, I got to write this down because what I've run into in the past is people who say that they don't have anything to invest or they don't know how to invest or they can't find the money to invest. Now, I'm not sure if you all remember, I did a video about starting with $1. If you want to check that video out, that video will be in the description box, so make sure you check it out. But in the video, what I was trying to show people was that for those of us who can't do the 20%, right now, if y'all know my rule plan or my spending plan is called the rule of 10, 10, 20. And that 20% is what's being put into a savings account or an investment account so that it can begin to grow and make money by itself. All right. But I understand that there are some people, they don't have the 20%. Okay, cool. So then what we did was we showed the 52-week challenge. Now, I didn't make that up. That's not something I created. It is something that I've done. All right. And so you have the 52-week challenge. So for those of you who are new to the channel, let me give you the 52-week challenge real quick. Whatever the week is, you're going to take that amount of money and you're going to save it. All right. So if it's the 22nd week of the year, you're going to take $26 and you're going to put $26 in the account. If it's the first week of the year, you're going to take $1, you put that $1 in. The third week, you just put $3 and you keep going on to the end to the 52 week. Once you get to the 52nd week of the year, you're going to have $1,378, okay? So this is for people who are saying, I don't know how to, or I don't know where to find the money to invest. I'm giving you something right now. And it's as simple as starting with $1, putting it into a savings account. All right. What I was thinking to myself, I said, okay, what can we do with that $1,378? So I was thinking, first of all, nothing beats the market. All right. But here's the thing. I understand the market goes up and the market goes down. For the past umpteen years, y'all decide how much umpteen is. For the past umpteen years, the market has done about 10%, all right, on average. So then my question was, okay, for those of us who are saying that we can't or we don't know where the money is to invest, let's do the 52-week challenge and let's put that money into the S&P 500. That at that point, we don't pull any money out and we let that money drip. In other words, every time we have an increase of what we're investing, that money, we're going to take that money and we're going to reinvest that money as well. So not only am I doing the $1 this week, $2 the second week, $3 the third week, $4 the fifth week, and so on to the 52nd week. But whatever that money makes, whatever that money makes, that money then is going to buy more of the S&P 500. All right? Are y'all with me? So then the second year, I'm going to do the same thing. Now, again, this is for people that you're really having a hard time finding where to get it. Or you're looking at the market or you're looking at investing and you think, I don't have it. I'm giving us something right now that I know that is very, 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 very simple. It doesn't require a lot of money, but it does require discipline. All right. So if you take that, and let's say you're a 30-year-old young man or young woman, and you start with just $1, and let's say you start, here's another thing about the 52-week challenge. It doesn't matter when you start. So let's say if you're seeing this video for the first time and you're seeing it and you're on the 15th week of the year, guess what? You can start that week. Because whenever you do the 52-week cycle, it's going to be the same $1,378. Excuse me. So whenever you see that, that money is still going into an account to buy SPY. Now, I can't, listen, I'm not your financial advisor. You actually make sure you get with a financial advisor. I'm looking at the numbers and I'm saying, okay, this is a good place. All right. So if we did that and the market's going to go up and the market's going to go down, this is one of those times where you can't time the market, but it's best to spend time in the market. Okay. Again, you can't time the market, but it's best to spend time in the market. A friend of mine told me that. So when we do that, and we start with $1 the first week of the year, $52 at the end of the year, and we do that for 30 years. We don't touch it. Don't pull it out. Don't do anything, like just, and let it drip. So when you start your account, you're gonna do a drip and let that thing keep buying more of the stock. So we're using the SPY as an example. I'm not saying this is what you have to do. I'm just saying as an example. In 30 years, when you start with that $1 that first week of the year, in 30 years, and you keep letting it drip and buying more and more of the S&P, the 52-week challenge that you use every year for 30 years will turn into $260,000 at the end of the 30 years. Now, some of y'all say that's not a lot of money, but for those of us who aren't doing anything at all, that's a lot of money. So I want to encourage you, if you feel like you don't have anything at all to invest, you don't feel like you feel like, okay, how do I get involved in this game? How do I get started? I don't have 20%, Patrick, as you suggested earlier. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm asking us to start the 52-week challenge and begin to allow that to be your part of your retirement, a part of your investment portfolio. Now, you can do other things as well, but I wanted to give us something that I believe was very, 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 very simple. All right. So let's say you do the 52-week plan, and now we're gonna multiply it by 2. All right. So that means the first week, instead of doing $1, you're gonna do $2. $2. The second week, you're going to do $4. So whatever the amount you're supposed to do that week, multiply that by 2, and that's how much you're going to put into this investment account. All right. So here we go. Check this out. It's so good. Listen, y'all. This is so good. So good. We're doing this for 30 years because we're not trying to do anything but build this wealth for retirement. All right. So let's say you got a 30-year-old. And they're going to do this, and you can do other things. And you do this for 30 years. Let me do it 20 years. 20 years, if you do that, your contribution would be around $55,000 in 20 years. But you would have made around $170,000 after 20 years. Now, I know you're saying it's not a lot, but I'm saying those of us who are looking for a way to build wealth, how many people do we know at the end of retirement has $170,000 just sitting there? All right. Something's better than nothing. Okay. If you do 30 years, because there's growth and then there's exponential growth. If you decide not to touch it in 30 years, so you're a 30-year-old, you're starting with $1 the first week. You're starting with $2 the first week. You're going to do $104, and that's it. Like this, boom, that's it. You're going to do $104 the 52nd week, and you're going to repeat that step every year, every week, every year for 30 years. At the end of the 30 years, at 60 years old, because you're a 30-year-old doing this, At 60 years old, you have sitting in your account $500,000. That's the boom part. So that's why I stopped. Huh? Now what? And it was simple. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't any like you didn't have to. There's no scrounging trying to figure out where I'm gonna get. It's just a little here and a little there. Now, what scripture goes with that? Proverbs 13:11. This the English Standard Version. It says, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle." Here's the part. But whoever gathers little by little will increase. And that's what I'm encouraging us to do. I know we looking out, and here's the part where we mess up, because we're comparing our account to somebody else's account. Or we're comparing, what they have with what we have. And in the comparison, because I can't save as much money as they do, or I don't look like this, whatever the case may be, we trick ourselves or we self-sabotage ourselves from even starting. So even if you don't start now, when will you start? And the sooner you start, the greater it grows, because those first 10 years, it's slowly increasing. Around that second 10 year, like between the 10 and the 20th year, you're going to get some growth. But then that thing began to exponentialize because it's compounding interest. And compounding interest works wonders with time. The more time you get it, and the more you keep feeding the beast, the greater outcome will become. So again, if you're doing $1, you're just going to stick with the 52-week plan, the way I originally found it was just $1 the first week, $2 the second week, $3 the third week, so forth and so on to the 52nd week. If you do that, starting with that $1, in 30 years, it's $260,000. But if you decide to multiply it by 2 each week, multiply by 2, that same 52-week plan, when you multiply it by 2, at the end of the 30 week, you're going to have around about $525,000. That's $500,000 at 60 years old. How many 60-year-olds you know? And if you know them, how many? How many 60-year-olds you know have $500,000 sitting in their investment portfolio waiting on them? And remember, Proverbs 13:11 says, "Whoever gathers little by little will increase." Now, here's the cherry on top. Imagine you put that money into a Roth IRA that when you begin to draw from it, it's tax free. That's what we call mic drop. Boom. And I'm out. Holla.